Now let's look at this thing. Was God right to demand that Abraham put him before his son? On one side of this argument, there's me. On the other side, it seems that everyone else in the world. And then this terrorist is superimposed on my side of the argument. Right? He risks his family being ostracized and persecuted. He blows himself up with his wife, or etc. Superimposed on my side of the argument. Straw man. They can't face the true man in a fair manner, so they build a straw man. Spirit, parrot, marital, martial, marital. So all those short guys who do martial arts can get through their heads that the ideal martial art warrior is actually the tall pharaoh. Look at the Narmer palette. You know, because they talk a good one, but they never fall in line. They fail to rise to the occasion and stand tall, with all due respect. So why do people choose the bitch argument, the craftsman, the nerd with no heart? They live for and enjoy rape cult energy and evil. That's why they made that decision. There is no viable counter-argument for the selfish decision they're making. They live for and enjoy rape cult energy and evil. Write it down. They live for and enjoy rape cult energy and evil. Well, brother, how do you know that? Well, number one, look at the trajectory of mind control. How many of you honestly think that people miss things like this all over mainstream news? MK Ultra, the chip brain, sex kittens, the Monarch program, Illuminati mind control, TV, people emulating rock and roll stars, throwing satanic signs, the rise of the occult cultures, people coming out of the closet as occultists. How many of you really think people miss that? Mind control, psychology, evil cultures, obvious racism and denial on the right, obvious shallowness and evil on the left. Number one, if you want to live, you are enjoying these things. One or more of them. And they're all evil. Denying what is good is evil. And that includes females who reject good men for conformist pussies. They're evil. They're not lukewarm, they're evil. Charm and harm. Her and hurt. Atmosphere and a must fear. You're trying to make it so they're afraid to talk to the attractive woman. You're playing your part, which is trap backwards. Mad, being crazy, is damn backwards. And I'm not talking about being mad with righteous indignation, more like Mad Magazine, Ebert, Beta, sniveling, sextortion, coerced sex, bitch. Dragon is a play on words for G, the earth deity of Rome, nerd. Number two, the life support example. It's funny how you're quick to take them off life support when they're suffering, but you won't stop the cyclic suffering, the cycle of suffering in your bloodline. You don't want to pay for their suffering on life support, but you'll work hard and pay for the continued suffering of your offspring. Point number two is very damning. Countless people abort their children. They take people off life support. They know there comes a time to cut off life on some level. A time to heal, a time to kill, as the Old Testament says. But they refuse to admit the time is now, that it is not okay to set your offspring up to be mind control, pedo, sexual, sadist, rape cult slaves. Number three, part backwards is trap. Evil backwards is live. In their own language, Latin root. French, English, all the Latin root languages, Spanish, okay? It's right there. Core, corazon, the heart, courage, okay? It's right there in their own language. They're not manning up. In their own language, they're evil. In their own language, it testifies against them that they don't have moral courage. You know them by their works indeed. Number four, neocolonialism. My goodness, how many chapters of history that little kids know must there be before you understand what colonial bitch is? The energy of colonial bitch. Of token minority assistant bitch. How can you bear it? If a fish cannot bear to be outside of water and knows, how much more an moral human being, how much more should they know when they're dealing with the energy of bitch? I tell you the truth, there wasn't a single female that I've ever dated that I didn't see the insufficiencies in them. Often I would try to make it so that, hey, obey and be loyal. Obey the moral relationship that we are building and be loyal. They could not do that. Well, you see these other people not asking them to obey and accepting sex called bitch. And if they were asking them to obey, are they asking them to obey God and the divine order? Or their American sex called rape energy, coerced sex by trickery and illusion may as well give them a roofie, taking advantage of their substances and their chemical state of mind type of bitch energy is what they're asking them to obey. The South shall rise again with all of its oppression. The Klan's version of the Bible, Christian identity, prison gangs. You can't make this shit up. Hate groups gave them their gospel of quote-unquote love in their words. You look at the flag. Darkness. There's no sun on the flag because they want you in darkness. If they're covering up the truth and they're drugging you, how could there be love? How could any sex in that environment be anything more than rape? Darkness. If you convince somebody to willingly subject themselves to rape cult activities, you haven't magically got them to consent in truth. But you've conned them into thinking it is okay to be a rape cult sex toy. This is not a natural state of mind. We know this because if I can conquer them naturally in ancient combat, in truth, with no eugenic breeding advantage. I'm black. Eugenics wasn't made for me to have the advantage. It was made for the white-skinned people to have the advantage. For the Jew and the white and the Asian that Hitler praised so much. It wasn't made for me to have the advantage. If as a black man, before the sun gate closes, I can have them hiding like I did, so help me God, like I did. Certainly I know that only my way of reproduction could be the way that the woman who knows better would choose. Anything else is rape. Anything else is someone who's been bred to be a dumb bitch who doesn't know better than to let herself be raped. Or to be too cowardly. To rise up in the spirit of the Lord and say, this stops. They have no problem killing babies with abortion. For the wrong reasons, mind you. And they have no problem taking their relatives off life support. Again, there is no viable counter-argument. The opposition view everyone outside the divine order. And nobody obeys me, mind you. They live for and enjoy rape cult energy and evil. Fuck you living for if you don't enjoy it. If life is so miserable and so unbearable, why are you alive? If you see that it's going to be like you see yourself and your child, and it's going to be so miserable and so unbearable, why are they alive? Certainly you must live for and enjoy rape cult energy and evil. Of course, they're doing this partially. Why do they have me around? Because we haven't come to the ritual date yet. They want you to react. Demonic civilization was made when moral civilization rose and fell. They were reacting to the martial art order. That's how they built their civilization. That's why I'm still alive right now. They're reacting to the true spirit of God, the truth, and they're going to take their hoggle from the labyrinth type of bitch asses with some stupid ditzy sex cult bitch and take it out on her loose pussy. That's why. The cycle of rise and fall, the spirit of righteousness seeking to restore the divine order. They're like, here it is. You see that? He's vibrating with that spirit that wants to get us to, start skywalking and force us to fall in line. Psh, you should have fallen in line. He's vibrating with that. Hit him with the drugs. Hit him with the Harry Potter bitch. That's why. Because when you can't win naturally because you are inferior, in fear of doing what is fair, in fair eye or in fear eye ear, because you're inferior. You don't have the moral courage. What is half-truth propaganda American courage compared to true, pure, moral truth? The way, the truth, and the life, moral courage. You don't have the moral courage to live a righteous life. Therefore, you live for and enjoy rape, cult, energy, and evil. And of course, moral courage leads to moral obedience. The Bible does not properly define the martial art order, nor does it properly define the scientific threat. It is incomplete at best. Spiritual nutrients is part of what people need. They're not spiritually healthy. They need those nutrients conveyed through Pharaoh, through the Pharaoh reproductive cycle to man. The message of Paul when he had a thong on is not compatible with the message of Jesus if you interpret his scripture with a bitch scale. Jesus said, carry your cross, not suck a Roman dick and say, I'm doing it for my kids, so they can live for and enjoy rape, called energy, and evil, and pray for pie in the sky too. The 2 points of view don't compare. One is a righteous man telling you carry your cross. The other is a government American flag G-string having pussy telling you to kiss Caesar's ass and suck his child's dick and give him your child to get fucked in the ass. The fuck do you think is right?